Welcome to Balance Boldly, the podcast for ambitious women in business and a few brave men. I am Naketa Thigpen, your host and balance and relationship advisor, partnering with you to change the narrative so we can amplify the intimacy within your relationships and you can have the freedom, flexibility, and confidence to thrive in work, life, and love. My personal mission for this and every episode of the Balance Boldly podcast is to serve you with the tools you need for moving beyond just barely surviving the burnout of work life, over those narrow hills of imposter syndrome, and through the barriers preventing you from being and doing greater. Welcome back, everybody. We are in season 14, All Things Growth Matters. The mindset that you need to grow through your current situation so you can get to your next level, which I am excited about. We've had some phenomenal experts. I am sure you will all agree. One after the other have just been giving us so many valuable tools and tips and techniques to do what we need to do for ourselves by sharing their own personal journey, opening up the curtain so we can see the behind the scenes and, get things from them that we can't necessarily get by Googling them, which I extremely appreciate all the time. So this woman that we are bringing to the table today, a beautiful sister, I have to say. I love her, melanin popping and everything. I have to welcome Jennifer Tyler Washington, Chief Etiquette Officer at I Am Polished LLC. She is doing some incredible things, helping lead high-level leaders and entrepreneurs with their business etiquette, their social etiquette, and their customer care through workshops. So in order to do this, she's making sure that you have everything you need to show up in your best self so you can get yourself, your team, and your clients to the next level. Jennifer, welcome to Balance Boldly. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you for having me, Naketa. I am so looking forward to this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for showing up and taking time out. I know you have a full schedule and lots of productivity things happening day in and day out. So I appreciate you literally slowing down just for me and all of those listening through Balance Boldly.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Absolutely.
Thank you. I would love for you to just take a minute and tell everyone a little bit about your journey and how you got to this space of I Am Polished and really helping people with their own etiquette, business, professional, and personal. Like, what was your go through or your grow through, shall I say, to get to this space that you're in right now?
Wow. Let me see. Okay. Well, I have to say that it all started when I was working in corporate America. And I was in the human resources department. I started in compensation and started recruiting as well. So got to see and learn a lot. I was blessed to have some wonderful women to just take me by my hand and teach me the rights and wrongs and kind of, help me on my professional journey, and that was so very important to me. And while I was in corporate America, I had the chance that's where I went to college. So I did it the way where I didn't have to have any students. I let them pay for my my education. So thank God for that.
I know that's right.
So, but I took this class and, I was like, okay, what is this history of tea and etiquette? And I took this class and it was very interesting. And it was an Emily Post class. I had no idea at that time who Emily Post was. And now I know that she's the queen of etiquette. And it's just something how your life just weaves together so perfectly.
Yes.
And I knew about etiquette, but there was a lot I did not know about etiquette. So I took it. I'm in corporate America, able to apply this, especially during business meetings when we're out at dinner or lunch or whatever. Had some knowledge, but now I know and I feel more confident about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, I took a leap of faith after being in corporate America for so many years. And my husband and I, we opened up our catering business. All right. So I always had a heart to serve, always had a heart to be in the industry, because my mother, and I have to say that I am truly my mother's child. And as I grow older, I'm seeing more and more of her and me, and I'm like, well, that's what mommy would say. Mm-hmm. So, but my mother, she was a fabulous cook, and she was not a chef; she was a cook, and she loved to see people enjoy her food. But she loved to cook, and she was passionate about her craft. Mm-hmm. And her and one of my uncles, they had a restaurant, and what I would do, I would leave my corporate job and go there after work and serve and wait on tables and just be around that whole, atmosphere of service to help people and to see them enjoy.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, I marry a chef. And when Wayne and I we got married, we were both doing our own things, and then we started to cater, on a part-time basis. And then I said, you know what? I really like doing this. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I took that leap of faith. I left corporate, and we built a business. And the business was called Touch by You Catering. Mm-hmm. And we were able to really grow that business, and to a point where, we not only developed a clientele, but we developed a family.
Right.
So it was our team members, it was our clients, it was our vendors. And, and people really valued what we did. And we valued who we served. So now I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to do this, I got to grow with it. So I need to learn about it. So I went back to school. And this time I went to school for hospitality management. And then I had to learn the back of the house, front of the house.
Yeah.
Know the ins and outs of the business, which was very helpful. So, and then I'm still thinking about, hey, this is the etiquette portion. So now I know not just what to do at the table, but now I know what to do when you're actually serving the people at the table.
Yes.
So it's hand in hand now. Okay. So we grew that business. It was a wonderful thing. We had such a good time. And, it's something how you think of it. It's nothing. It's a thought. And then you start applying, you start learning, you start talking to people, you start seeing, and all of a sudden it blossoms and it grows, and it just became our baby, and we saw it mature and it grow up and and was able to kind of take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? Okay, this is good. And then I remember the first time we went out and we had an event, and it felt so good to me. And it was like, okay, this is where I need to be in this industry.
Yeah.
This is where I feel most passionate. It just held me.
Felt connected. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we did that for several years throughout our marriage, almost 13 years. And
oh, wow.
Right. And so we were saying, okay, well, maybe we need to have a change. So we changed courses and sold the business, moved to Florida for 2 years. But that was not for us. Came back home. And then I said to myself, okay, well, let me try to go back in and work in corporate. So that didn't work because I believe, when you're an entrepreneur, it's hard to go back in and work for somebody. Because you're used to doing things a certain way and building and seeing things and helping people, and your values and your work ethics and your morale and your standards may not go with what you see.
So true.
And one thing, I like to make sure that I treat people fairly and help people and give opportunities. And that's something that is very dear to me. And I wasn't able to do that, and I didn't see it being done. And it was just something I was like, okay, I need to go back and to do something else.
Right.
So I also noticed while out here looking and seeing, I was like, people are not aware of etiquette. And when they think about etiquette, they just think about dining, but etiquette covers life.
Yes, the whole spectrum. Mm-hmm.
Spectrum. It's the way we treat each other. It's the way we show up. It's being courteous. Those common courtesies. It's looking people in their eyes, the eye contact, making sure that you're aware of your posture. So it's not just at the dinner table, but it's at all tables,
Mm-hmm.
at meetings. How are you showing up to meetings in the corporate world? It's professional development. It's how do you network? And so I said to myself, all right, well, everything is for a reason. This is something that I can definitely help people to grow in.
Absolutely.
So here I go again. All right, I've already taken the class. I've been certified. Now I need to refresh them and take some more courses. So I took more courses through Emily Post again,
Mm-hmm.
and this is through for business etiquette. Okay, so the dining is okay. We business now. We want to make sure that when you go into corporate America, or if you're an entrepreneur and you have meetings with potential clients, and making sure that you show up the right way.
Exactly. Clients and partners, because some of us don't know how to act at the table with partners, right?
And even now, Naketa, with communication has changed from
Mm-hmm.
where it was before,
Mm-hmm.
but that does not mean the way we treat each other should change.
Right.
So although I may not see you with social media, I still need to be intentional about what I say. And I think people need to be aware of that. So, and that's all a part of etiquette, is how we treat each other, what you
Yeah.
put out there.
I agree. There's a social media etiquette for sure. Just like you're saying, there's that business etiquette that comes with, yes, you do need to understand napkin placement, fork, knife, all that kind of good stuff. But that's just a small, probably 10%. People will forgive you for picking up the wrong fork, the solid fork or the main fork, right? But they will not forgive you in that moment, at least, until they do their own self work, if you are not looking at them when you're talking to them, or all over the place and on your phone, or you're so busy trying to catch a husband or a wife in the room that you're not looking at the person that is sitting right in front of you. Like, I know you have a billion stories for some of the wacky things that people do, both personally and professionally, etiquette wise. But you're right. There's a need for what you do.
Right, absolutely. And I don't think people are mindful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. It's part of being mindful of how we're treating each other right now. And because you never know who you're standing in front of.
That's right.
You never know. So, I just want to bring the awareness to, not just young people, but all people,
Yeah. No,
that
absolutely.
we need to see each other again,
Mm-hmm.
and be mindful of how we treat each other, and to look at each other. And when I am facilitating my workshops, I make it a point to look at each and every person that comes into that room,
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
so I can see them,
Yeah.
and hopefully that they see me as well, and making sure that they walk out of there knowing something or realizing something that they did not know or realize before they walked in. So, and I make sure that when I'm facilitating these workshops, and me and my team, we make sure it's fun, because
Yeah.
when people think about etiquette, they think of something rigid and stuffy,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's not the case at all. So I make sure that we have fun with it. It's engaging, it's and interactive. you know Make sure that people ask questions. I'm going to ask you questions so that we can engage, and be engaged with each other. Just making sure that the importance of how we treat each other and how we show up, and how we manage our brand matters. It
Yeah,
matters.
absolutely. And I'm laughing in my head because I didn't want to laugh out loud while you were talking because my mind is special. I'm a special person. I'm thinking you can't possibly be so stuffy. You work with your husband for 13 years.
There's nothing stuffy. Hey, there's nothing stuffy about me.
Listen, and like it can't possibly. So and I understand, like you said, because when you hear the word etiquette, you think formal, stuffy, bougie. But I'm like, if they would have found out, like, what, you work with your husband for
Yes, yeah, and we still love each other.
Yes, and you ain't kill each other in the process.
Love each other because you can love, but you gotta like each other.
Right.
We still like each other too.
That is something special.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I'm enjoying this journey. I believe that we always have to learn and not just learn about, how we do it here, but how other people do it. So you got to think about cultural etiquette as well. Yeah. Because, I may think it's okay for me to, use eye contact, but if I'm looking at someone from a different,
right.
They may see it as disrespect.
A threat. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And so knowing the difference and, this country we live in, it's made up with so many beautiful, different people. That's the beauty of the United States. Okay. One of the beauties of it. We live amongst so many different cultures, nationalities, and if you don't know, then you are afraid, that's where the fear comes in. But if you take time to learn, then you can embrace it. You may not even understand it, but if you take time to learn about it, maybe it'll open up your eyes a little more. Then you can embrace it and understand it more and relate to it and appreciate it. You never know. I that's a part of it too, making sure that we're culturally aware of, why people do things the way they do.
Absolutely. And I have to, commend you for pointing that out because I think a huge part, whether you are an entrepreneur or a leader in a business, especially the global leaders that often have to travel and do a lot of things, and you're constantly running into and mixing with other cultures just as a part of your job, a lot of the burnout that entrepreneurs and leaders experience is because they haven't educated themselves on some of that cultural awareness, right? Because when fear creeps in, it causes you to do a lot of things out of divine order. And when you are not in order, right? And you and I were talking about this even before the show started. When you're not in order and that fear is coming up, it's literally making you spaz out and go in circles. And that's why we get so tired and fatigued. But if we had that spirit of always be learning, submit yourself so that you can be the proper authority. Like if you do that, then you're less likely, not that you won't experience moments of burnout, right? Like it happens to all of us when we're, in the zone too long and things are going so great, but you realize you were just in that moment too long and you didn't really come up for air and to recharge. But if your life has been a space of burning yourself out, now you're going to cause another spiral of feeling like you don't belong and that you're not supposed to be there. And I know you experience this when you're working with team members and other leaders and entrepreneurs when they're getting etiquette courses from you, whether social, business or what have you. Most of it is because they want to make sure that they belong, like they look like they belong, right?
That's right. That's right. When they show up at the table, when they come to that networking event, and a part of knowing, it builds your confidence.
Yes.
And when you're confident, then you could be comfortable.
Right.
And you don't have to be fidgety or awkward. You can go in and not saying that you're cocky, but you're confident. And there's a difference. But it does. It takes time for you to learn. And when you learn, you grow. And that's what it's all about. Every day, I want to learn something new. I don't the smallest things.
Right.
If I see a word I don't understand, I'm gonna look it up. Because we need to learn every single day so that we could better ourselves. And there it is. We're showing up again. It's how you show up. It's constant growth, and that's what life is.
Absolutely.
Because when you stop growing, you start dying.
Listen.
So we need to make sure that we're growing all the time. So whether it's reading an article, if you're reading a book, or if you're having conversations with people who you don't know, just strike up a conversation. You never know what you're going to learn from other people, young people, older people, people who don't look like you. We need to engage each other.
Absolutely. That's the intimacy of it. And intimacy matters. I totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about that.
Listen, all things intimacy. Don't get me started, Jennifer. We be like, well, how she start talking about me and my husband love life? Like, how we get here? Like, oh, sorry. Wrong platform. Wrong platform. Sorry. So, Jennifer, tell everyone what you do with the full schedules you have and all the different energies and personalities you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis through the work you do. How do you give yourself permission to pause?
Okay, so I think about my schedule, all right, and then I say to myself, all right, I have time on whatever day. That's the day I am going to sleep in. I am going to lay there and bless my body and appreciate, where I am, whose I am, and how God is using me. And just take some time to reflect and just let it all just go. So it is, you have to schedule it. It's like, okay, I know I have this day, this day. Okay, wait a minute. I got some time here. Okay, so I'm gonna take that time, and then that helps you to, just think about and reflect on where you are, where you want to be, and where you came from, because that matters too. Because without history, you wouldn't be where you are. And then, okay, and just be able to appreciate my life, because we have to, And then, if I can get to the beach, I'll take some time to go to the beach. I love the beach.
Me too. That's my happy place.
Yes. And I don't have to go in. I just want to see the waves, I love to see the water, because it's so consistent. It's just divine order. It knows where to come. It knows how to go back, and it's very relaxing, and you're just hearing it and embracing it, and just appreciating it, so that's when I can give myself time to, take a breather and enjoy life.
I love that. And that is perfect. It's carving out that time and, scheduling it in where you can when you look at your schedule, but making sure that you really just appreciate what you already have and how you got there, so you can show the universe that you are worthy of more. That's really what you're doing, which I love. So how can people contact you to get some more of all things Jennifer Tyler Washington?
Well, they can reach me. I have a website, iampolished.com. And they can follow me on Twitter at ampolished, at I am polished, I'm sorry. I am on LinkedIn, Jennifer, at I am polished. And let's see, where else? They can call me if they like to. Just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to schedule some workshops, talk to you individually. Another thing that my husband and I have been talking about is we've been backed by popular demand. People are still calling on us. So we're going to start our boutique culinary experiences. So we're going back in on a smaller scale, but it's going to be good. And I'm just excited, I'm excited about where my life is and where I'm going.
I know that's right. And the reality is people miss that loving in that food, because you can taste love.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, and because we had the triple threat. We had We had the service. Okay. First of all, I had to show up so I could get the clients in. All right. Now we have to, I said to my husband, okay, now you got to put the icing on the cake because, he's chef. So once they get the food, that's it. And then we had an excellent team on top of it. So it's just like, bam. All right. So
hit them at all sides. You see how I can make even the cleanest thing dirty? You see how that happens? It's just, it's dirty in my eyes, but it's clean in God's eyes. Don't get me started.
that different perspective, his viewpoint is definitely not our point of view. Thank you, Lord.
Exactly. Because he know his daughter. He know I'm a mess. You have been amazing, Jennifer. Thank you for carving out this time for us and showing up and just giving us some of you and the behind the scenes and the growth through and everything else. I just value you and I honor you for your time. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. Absolutely. Anytime, Naketa, I'm here.
Oh, you're so awesome. Woo! Balance Boldly listeners, you have been incredible as well. I value, honor, and thank you for carving out time and space to hold this place, to, be able to join in on these conversations with us virtually and authentically and transparently. You guys, if you've been following me for a while, I'm a mess and I love it. I'm a happy, joyful mess. So it's all good. If you love what you hear, make sure you subscribe, rate, and share. Help us ensure the other ambitiously bold and brave have access to these valuable life, love, and business balance tools. Of course, if you want to go deeper in some of my dirty talk and everything else that I'm doing, Let's Talk Intimacy Live is every Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to join. I finally figured it out, so I go live on Instagram, and we'll make sure that the replays are there on YouTube and simultaneously live on Facebook as well. So it's all good. We're still working out some of the back office technology of it, but I love it. We've been having fun, and people have been showing up and showing out. So join the fun with all of that. In the interim, if you need to reach me, you have some questions, feel free to DM me or email me at Ask Naketa. I'm on IG, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Naketa Thigpen. So just feel free to come to whatever platform is your comfort zone and send me your questions. I will be happy to answer them live on the live stream for Let's Talk Intimacy based on the nature of their question. And if it's relevant to all things balance boldly with burnout and imposter syndrome and breaking barriers and all that stuff, I'll make sure that we talk about it here. Who knows? Your question might be the next season's theme. So in the interim, I want you to go create your balance and create your joy, but remember to do it boldly. Thank you for listening.